Today we are checking out another video with our EVGA GeForce RTX 3080 FTW3 Ultra, and we'll be throwing this bad boy on Conflux. What's going on, everyone? Rabid here. We're checking out our 3080 again, and we're going to be throwing this on another much loved coin, and that one is Conflux. I think after that, then possibly Cortex. Let me know in the comments what other videos you would like to see this tested on, because after these next couple videos, we will be throwing this into my gaming PC, and it is going to be a pain to bring it back out for more tests. So we are trying to do all the tests possibly before it gets in there. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up, like button, subscribe button, all the good stuff, and we'll get on to this. Let's check out some hash rates. Here we are, guys. What to mine, like we usually start off. So Ethereum obviously is still in first place, but it is starting to drop, and Ergo is picking back up and coming back up to that top spot. Now, what's going on with prices, I have no idea. So we're coming down to Conflux here. Again, we are on the 3080. I punched in my ETH hash numbers just so I could see exactly where I was. But yeah, Conflux is down here with Ravencoin. What place are we in now? So we're not even going to count nice hash. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Conflux is in 9th and Ravencoin is in 10th. But we do know there's a lot of support for Ravencoin. We did our last video on it. So now we are going to check out Conflux, which is a much loved coin as well upon GPU miners. So we are at $3.51 is what it is saying. Our actual hash rate, it is going to tell us that we're going to do. This is the Octopus algorithm, and it's saying 77 mega hash at about 250 watts. So this is a rough idea of what we are going to try to shoot for and see if we can match that or try to get a little bit better. Let me know what you guys are using for settings below, and we'll try those out sometime in a future video. Now, the first thing I am going to do is I'm just going to roll with our Ethereum settings and see exactly how it does play off. I did make my flight sheet. Yeah, that's it. So our flight sheet is right here. Send that to the moon. It is going to start mining and going to the moon. So we're going to let that go here. Second off, I do want to check out what other people are using for settings. So we'll just jump into our old config here, hit in Conflux, and here we go. So it does look like a little bit more memory over when you're looking at Ergo and all that. 1350 is the number one here with 2250 on the memory and a power limit of 244. Ultimately, again, you will be using more power when you're mining other coins other than Ethereum. So watch your SATA connectors, swap them out to 6 pins. Make sure you're not close to maxing out your power supply, just like when we went through with our Ravencoin video. If you are getting close to the max power supply rating of that power supply, you are going to be using more power and potentially being going over your limit and burning out, blowing up, exploding, causing a fire, whatever. All the bad stuff that could happen with going over what you should be using. Anyway, so 1350, 2250, 1050, minus 502. This is all absolute core clocks, obviously. If they were not, we'd only see like plus 100, plus 200, minus 500 like you see here. So I'm going to try some of these settings out first, but let's just have a quick peek of what this is looking like with our Ethereum settings. So it is looking like we are at 71.13 mega hash, and looking at our power, 274. So our system does use 20 watts. So 252, 250, whatever. So just take the 2 off of the 7 there. So 253 or so watts we are using right now, which is pretty close to what to mine is stating that we'd be using about 250 watts. So ultimately, if I raise my power limit at all, or my core and whatnot, and we are going to be using more power. Now, how this actually works is you do not need to use your power limit when you're using absolute core clock. It'll go to the maximum of your power limit. Now, if you want to drop it down, so your power limit will work. If I put this at 0, we'd be still only using 223 possibly. But if I take it down to like 220, then we'll start cutting this down. So if I start adding core, it won't really do much unless I do raise this power limit past the amount that it actually needs. I'm already looking that we're going to be going over what to mine is telling us we should be mining, but we're going to do some efficiencies and see if it is worth it or not. Okay, so next up on the list, we went with this guy's here, 244 watt power limit, 22. Well, I'm using my 2400 memory. I didn't touch that, but I did move the core up to 1350. And we are sitting at 83.28 mega hash. Now that is 300 to 301 watts total system. So we're using about 280 to 281 watts. Now 280 watts divided by this right now we are getting 0.297 megahash per watt, which is pretty darn good actually. We're going to do a recap of all the numbers at the end of the video just so you can kind of compare them all. But right now that's what we are kind of looking at. So 280 watts from the GPU itself, 300 to 300 watts total for the system, and that is doing 0.2 or 20 or blah. I'm going through my megahash per watt again, but yeah, we're doing 83.28 megahash, which is not too bad actually on efficiency standpoint. Okay, so I figured I'd try something here to see what it would do. So I did drop everything set the same. I did drop my memory though down to 1600 from 2400. And we actually gained a little bit of megahash, so we are sitting at 83.92 megahash. We're still at the 300, 301, 302 mark on our watt meter, so essentially 280 watts, and that does come down to 0.299 megahash. So we're like right borderline 0.3 megahash, which is about what to mine is telling us we should be pulling efficiency-wise. We're not getting the same numbers as what to mine, but we are getting the same efficiency as what to mine. So we're kind of getting somewhere. So far, this is the best settings I found yet anyway. Okay, so what I did here is I went with 1200 memory, but I boosted my power limit from 244 to 250. So now we're up the power limit of 250 watts. We're at 86.76 megahash. And according to our watt meter here, we're running 305 to 307, bouncing around, sometimes 308, but I went with 306 for my numbers. It usually sits around there, and that's about 286 watts. We did not go up too much in the actual power consumption, and that actually worked out to be 0.301 megahash per watt. So we are at the best settings yet. So that made me think, what if we kept the power limit and then we drop it down a little bit? So I'm going to go back to our original Ethereum settings, just the core. We're going to keep the memory lower. It seems to run better with less memory. And then we're just going to drop the core, keep our power limit the same, and see if it does do anything. Okay, so here we are once again. This is with our 1070, which is what I use on Ethereum. I kept my memory down. Again, power limit 240. We are only using 244 watts. It is sane. So our power limit is not doing anything at this point. It will only affect anything if we drop it before this underneath, not before, but under the 244 watt mark. But anyway, we were at 84.56 megahash. As you can see there, 300 watt total system, which is 280 watts. And that brings us to a megahash per watt of, where's my number here? So we are at 0.302. So we are at the 0.3 mark. Again, these are at slightly less than the previous settings of 1350 core by 0.001. So ultimately, it won't matter. Because unless you have like $10 per kilowatt hour is when only time you probably notice a little difference like that. So this setting, I would recommend this setting over the last one because your core is lower. That would bring your temp a little bit, keep your temp down a little bit more, and you know, whatever else. You're just using a little bit less power. Ultimately, it don't matter. But your temperature would probably, you'll notice a difference depending on your ambience based on these settings. But this is interesting stuff. I'm going to try possibly maybe higher power wattage or power limit because we're looking like we're probably at where we should be. Okay, never mind. I'm an idiot. Raising the power limit will not do anything. I just went through this with you guys that if I raise the power limit, it won't do anything unless you go underneath this. So I'm going to raise the core, I guess. Let's try like 1450 or something and see what that does. Okay, so raising the core to 1450 is not the best thing to do. We're shooting we shot up some mega hash, yeah, 87.67, but we are 320. So we're at 300 watts on our actual watt meter here, and that works out to be like 0.28 mega hash per watt. So we went down in efficiency. So I think the best setting is ultimately our Ethereum settings with a little higher power limit. So I'm just going to go right back to that. Okay, so here we are. We are back at our original 1070, 1200, 250 power limit. So yeah, this is ultimately, I think, the best settings we could use. This is the exact same settings. Obviously our memory. So our memory, that would be 1200 or 2400 watts for Ethereum. I just dropped it down to 1200 mem here and put the power limit up to 250 from, what did I have, 224, and I found this is the most efficient settings on Conflux for at least my 3080 card. Again, I'm curious what you guys are running on your cards. I'm just going to go through our sheet here and take a look at all the numbers. Okay guys, so here we have it, 3080 on a Conflux. Now here's what to mine. It is saying 77 megahash, 250 watts. That does work out to 0.308 megahash per watt. Now we did start off here with 71.13 megahash at 253 watts, which gave us 0.28 megahash per watt. That was with our straight Ethereum settings. No tweaking or nothing, just went straight to Conflux, which isn't too bad really. But if you're using like say NiceHash or something, if they support all that, I haven't used NiceHash forever, so I have no idea. But here we did some tweaking. So 1350, 2400 on the mem, did work out to be 83.28 megahash at 280 watts was 0.297, which is better than our Ethereum settings. Then we tweaked up, what do we do here? We dropped down the memory to 1600, so 1350 core, 1600 memory, 83.92 megahash at 280 watts was 0.299 megahash per watt. Then we went into 1350, 1200 memory, 86.76 memory, because we did notice that it was going up a little bit as we dropped the memory down. So 86.76 megahash, 286 watts, worked out to 0.303 megahash per watt, which is slightly under what to mine has for efficiency, but we're getting more megahash, so that ultimately would be better. Now for our final settings, which I think are probably the best settings here, and that is, I don't have my megahash to watt on here, but it was 0.302, I believe. But it is 1070, 1200 memory, so we dropped the memory down to 1200 from 2400, so half. And we're using 84.56 megahash at 280 watts, power limit of 250, and that was given us, which I did not write down, 0.302, which is 0.001 less than this megahash per watt here of our 1350. So ultimately, I think our Ethereum settings for this card is the best ones to use for me anyway. Obviously, your card could be different. Silicon Lottery could be different and all sorts of stuff. There's some 3080s that can't even go past 1400 memory. Remember, that is ×2 in Hive, so whatever that is, divide it by 2, and that's what it is in Windows. But yeah, here are my settings for my 3080 card, and that's 1070 core, 1200 memory, 84.56 megahash at 280 watts. That is 300 watts total system, and a power limit of 250 was granting 0.302 megahash per watt of efficiency rating. There we have it, guys. If you would like to see any more tests done on this card before I do throw that into my gaming PC over there, then let me know, because I just zoomed in on my mic stand and not my actual PC. So this will be going into my game PC sometime soon, whenever we finish up all the tests on it. So let me know what you want to see next. I'll probably do Cortex. Hit that subscribe button, like button, all that good stuff that goes along with it. Have a great day, everyone, and Rabid out. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please consider watching one of these other videos, hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. We do a live stream every Sunday, and Discord link is in the description as well. Thanks everybody again, and Rabid out.